dissect, crystal, blister, and so on. My segregators, Kinian, Morgan, and King. Colgate, quarters, Vegas, got a high kick, Mester, Hister, North, with thrusters. Take it up, stairs, on the side with a back at the back, music, on the side, I got a high kick, I like, show me on that side, crystal, blister, and so on. My segregators, Kinian, Morgan, and King. Colgate, quarters, Vegas, got a high kick, Mester, Hister, North, with thrusters. Take it up, stairs, on the side with a back at the back, music, back, music, morning rays, years and cranes, due to the west, honest, there wasn't a dream, Bell Society, unity, cornet, spinning sound flows, flow through home, dragged by the power of the dream, the power is yet unknown. Morning rays, years and cranes, due to the west, honest, there wasn't a dream, Bell Society, unity, cornet, spinning sound flows, flow through home, dragged by the power of the dream, the power is yet unknown.
Hello to all the sheeple out there, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo Neo The World Ends With You Spoilercast. My name and host for this night is Maverick, and I am joined tonight by the one and only Rose.
Hi, yes, great introduction. Fantastic. I shouldn't have expected any less.
Thank you. You know, I've had a month of radio silence and just a lot of stuff that I'll eventually get into on the main pod, but, you know, I figured, what do I want to do to really just cement myself coming back into it, and what better way to do so than to just really dive into the game that has really just been the main thing I've had to think about through a lot of these transitions, which was Neo The World Ends With You. I put out my review for it. It's been a few weeks now, and having now taken the time to complete the game, I've really just had a lot of thoughts ruminating around, and, you know, as, you know, I think Rose is definitely the person that I would see as the other, like, immediate KH / General Square Enix pilled person in the group.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that LV and Solon are big KH heads too, but they don't go outside that really too much. I mean, Solon does, but that's a whole different ballpark. That's a whole other world from what we're in, which is
right,
the Nomura dimension.
Yeah, Nomura heroes, am I right? and this is where John kills me. But no, it's just been something I've really just had in the back of my mind of just thinking, you know, let's actually go ahead and do a bit of a deeper dive into it, just because there's so much to be said. And I think, especially with where I left off in terms of just thinking about what that game really means, and actually just being inspired by how you talked about it on the podcast, I think there's definitely a lot that we can dive into. But to start out, I mean, like, how Neo Toei is a sequel of the original Ends With You, or The World Ends With You. And so how did you end up getting into that original game? And what was it like to really just have what I would say is like baby's first exposure to something that's trying to get them to go outside and talk to people?
So I think, like, we're the same age pretty much. So I think we probably have similar time period where we would have played this game. And that'd be middle school.
Yeah.
I think I got The World Ends With You literally like the day I was actually moving out of one of my parents' houses to the other parents after a divorce. And it was just like the perfect game to just fucking like, oh man, I have so many emotions right now, and this is like, Neku gets it, you know. Like that type of
coolest
thing. Yeah, Neku's so cool, and I just remember, like, especially like I'd played Kingdom Hearts, and I loved Kingdom Hearts. I think at that point I probably only played 2 in Chain of Memories, which is insane to think about. I didn't play 1.
I also started on 2. Like,
hey, it's fucking good is the thing about Kingdom Hearts 2. Some might say one of the best of all time. But yeah, it being like this thing that's like, it's not art house, obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, it's this aesthetic powerhouse of a game that, like, really, I think, just opens your mind up, not just in the sense of like thematically what they wanted to do, but also just in the sense of like, hey, like this is a game that's actually about like modern things that I know about or like I'm interested in as a teen. Or I guess at that point, I don't even know if I was a teen yet, really. Probably.
No,
What,
I get
2000s?
what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, like
Around that time.
that like whole like thing of like this is a game like at that point like most of the JRPGs I had played were pretty like they were either sci-fi or they were fantasy. So having this one that's like set in modern times, that's not earthbound jokey, like is still genuinely serious. Obviously it has jokes, but like it was this really I honestly think it was like a taste maker for me. Like it was something that really like set what I looked for in games going forward, which is just like an individual spirit that has just like a ton of ambition behind it.
I would definitely agree with that. And I think, like, you say that being a tastemaker, I look at The World Ends With You and I think, like, oh, this is like the first game that actually made me think about Japan as an area to go to with actual infrastructure. And, you know, I assume the Venn diagram of people that are into The World Ends With You and people that are into the Yakuza series is just a circle, because there is so much similarity there in terms of like the city is as much a character, and I'm gonna get into that later because I think they really just hit that point as hard as possible in the new game. But you know, it wouldn't be the same if they tried to make a other location. Like, it had to be set in Shibuya. It had to be focused on this mid-2000s conceit of, like, internet culture garnering itself into a position where, like, there could be this kind of rumor coming about of, like, what's going on and what's happening, and that whole initial metaphor of, you know, the world ends with you. If you have to expand your horizons, you need to find the way to do so, and don't be afraid to let those horizons expand. Like, it's so... It is rated T for teen, not just because of its content, but also because you literally, like, you should be a teenager when you play it. I think it is required reading. As someone who is now an educator, I would gladly buy all of my kids a Nintendo DS and make them play this game.
It is just like really effective. Like, you know, people talk about things like, oh, I learned all this from video games instead of school or whatever, you know, that classic bit. But like genuinely, like, it is stuff like this that like really open your perspective. Like you said, like thinking of Japan as a place, absolutely the same thing for me. Like, it was this type of thing of like, oh, this is how this society is, like on the other side of the world or whatever. Like, this is how this thing that I've enjoyed works from, that I've like admired the creators from. Like, this is what a portion of their society is like their Mecca, like their New York City or whatever, for an example, I guess. Like, it really is like interesting just from like that perspective of like, hey, like, you know, you look at like stuff like the ramen shop or like all the brands and stuff like that and how these are all set up, and it's just like, it's not so complex. Like I would say like a Yakuza game is like the adult version almost, right? Like, they're like,
Oh, yeah.
like that is like the parallel. Like, you have this one place and it's built up and it has all these specific things. But like, this is like the more easy to understand. Like, it's relatable. Like, you think of like places to get food, places to get clothes. Those are the two things I think you think the most about when you're a teenager, probably.
Oh, big time. Like that, the world revolves around being able to get good food and get the cool clothes.
Yeah. And like the idea of like, you know, hanging out at the mall being like, for some people, like, I mean, I did, but like this idea of like malls and shops and stuff like that, finding the shops to hang out with. And like the way that the original game, and this one too, the new one, creates these areas around these places, like, that are just so like set up perfectly for people to just like hang around, you know, like just, you can totally picture a bunch of people just standing around here or like hanging out or just like talking shit. It's just unparalleled, I think, in a way that's like, I'm surprised that game wasn't more influential than it has been. honestly. Like,
Yeah.
it's such an effective work, for just like I talked about on the other podcast, like from a gameplay perspective, even just like so many great ideas, which I mean they've unfortunately neutered over time, right? Like with the remake, but such is the inevitability of technological limitations, I guess. Like that double
Yeah,
screen
and I mean,
stuff.
it was so incredible, and I loved that I could just go full freak mode with it. But you really do bring up a good point where, it is such a one-of-a-kind experience, and I think one that only in the shadow of a sequel coming up did people start to realize, oh shit, like, yeah, this is a game that really, like, motivated me. So, when those initial stirrings came up, I think about this specifically in a post, like, KH3 scenario. I honestly didn't know how I felt about getting a 12-week sequel. I was kind of just like, maybe it'll be fine, maybe it'll be okay. I didn't really have, like, the initial excitement to go through with it until, like, I got my hands on the demo.
I think that makes a lot of sense, especially considering Kingdom Hearts 3, like Kingdom Hearts 3 being this very, like, I think this has been a problem with a lot of more recent works in established series, or just things from that era where 12 was coming out, and it's like you see these new entries come in, and it's just like, oh god, they just like sanded down everything into like this very like compact and like mainstream accessible package. Like you look at Kingdom Hearts 3 and how like the Disney worlds are so, like, there are some exceptions, but for the most part pretty sanitized, just retellings and stuff like that. And you look at like how like traditionally structured it is in comparison to something like Kingdom Hearts 2, and you go, oh god, The World Ends With You is going to just be like a chapter by chapter JRPG. And it is a chapter by chapter JRPG, but in a way that it is itself, right? Like, it is not just like, hey, like the original game had that unique 3-week format, and they just did that again, but they even played with that a little.
Yeah, like,
it's just good.
This would definitely be a good time to really just get into the game itself.
Yeah.
But I mean, the biggest thing to note is that the game does such a good job of being able to say, yes, this is a sequel, but also we're kind of just wanting to do our own thing. It wants to still live in its own kind of space, and I think that's the smartest thing it could have done to separate itself from the I would say the zeitgeist that its predecessor was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And so when it comes down to that, I mean, like, I think the plot itself was honestly something I had some fun with. Like, hearing some other discussion and comparison on it, I've heard comparison of it to like a CW show, and honestly, that is a very fun way to go. Shout out Gita over at Waypoint Radio. They know what's up. And hearing that description, it's like, like, this is very episodic, taking the time to go through it, and it's just like a band of late teens to 20-somethings just having to like deal with a nondescript threat in a way that's just very easy to digest. And the plot itself, if you're listening to the Spoilercast and kind of just don't give a fuck, good on ya. But it's set 3 years after the events of the original game, and we're following. Oh, this is a good time. Ooh, I'm going through my tabs real quick.
You have to say their full ass names.
I gotta see their full last names. Our protagonist, Rindo Kanade, hanging out with his friend Tosai Fret Furusawa, and through a whole lot of bullshit, they get swept up into a new Reapers game. And through all that, there's a whole big shakeup. One, it's all team-based, which, I honestly, as soon as I saw that it was team-based, that immediately gave me a different framing about how they wanted to go about stuff. Like, in the original World Ends With You, it's all partner focused. So each week, Neku is literally just having to make a friendship with someone else. And it's a fantastic metaphor for having to just deal with another person and having to build that relationship out. Here, having that focus on an entire team and having to expand that group, expansion is the word that I would definitely focus on, and I think is a very good way to like hone in on what Neo Toei just like brings to the table when it comes to wanting to build. It's always just going to be a focus on expansion, because it's not just Rindo and Fret. They have to find other teammates. They have to find other sources of strength to be able to take care of the Ruin Bringers and the culmination of events. How did you feel about the plot overall?
Overall, I liked it a lot. I have like, I wouldn't say issues with the ending so much as opinions, let's say. But like, I think with an overall structure, I think while I struggled to find a like I think you said good in your review, like what the overall message of this is, like about expansion and stuff like that. I think like, even if the overall message to this game isn't as direct as the original, like the original being called The World Ends With You, and then, fucking Hanakoma comes out and says like The World Ends With You, is pretty direct. Whereas this one, it does feel more like it's all like subtextual stuff. I think it is really effective to go from Neku making friend by friend, which works from an isolationist perspective of like what an emo kid can be like, but like the reality of like friend groups is like oftentimes you get absorbed into one, which is sort of like what feels like happens in this game. Like each new person is just absorbed into their friend group, which I think is like a good way to like really like that is how I made friends a lot of the time growing up and just in general. And I think that it was good for them to go with that angle instead of just doing the one by one again. Also, just like having a team-based thing in general is really good. I think it only falters at times through the like, in a sense, it makes sense, right? Like that they would stereotype each individual group, like they would distill them down as traits because they are still ostensibly like an outside group to our group. But I feel like at times it is a bit much. I think that's really my only complaint with it. Like the Varia Beauties, reading up some stuff that's talking about how it's like a Japanese like gay guy trope or something to make fun of gay guys. I was like, just overall, it is still like, I think I honestly liked the presentation of this one, even if at times it feels like it's stretching itself. I like it more than the first game because it feels so like actually confident about its meta-narrative stuff in a way that I don't think Nomura was capable of being back when the original World Ends With You came out. Like all the stuff that's like, the Reapers, the Angels, all shit like that. It was all just like in the secret reports at the end, or the like, you do a boss fight with Hanakoma or whatever on the tower, not like actually in the story proper. So having it all be in the story proper was a really nice change too.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not a shock, but just remembering like, oh, they're just outright talking about like, this is something that only the composer could set up. Oh, if I'm not the game master, then what am I? Oh, you're like, so many proper nouns put into a way that I definitely didn't like think about as much with the original game. But I don't know, also like when it comes to thematics, I feel like a stronger version of this game would try and make a more deliberate attempt to talk about aspects of gentrification. But also I realize that I talk about that, or I think about that thematic through line, where this is a game about a commercial shopping district. And so, that to go back to my review, it's me thinking about the fact that for some of the most formative years of my life going through college, lived in an area that was like predominantly focused as this is the space where college kids go through. This is the space where a lot of shopping districts are. The main thing that you do here is spend money. And so if there's no reason to do that, and hello 2020 for being a very fantastic foray into how a lot of Manhattan just goes to shit when you can't spend money or go to places.
Uh-huh.
No, the fucking a ghost town, a literal ghost town.
I believe
the
it.
Last time,
even Boston, honestly, like you got to go to some sectors and it's not great.
Yeah, and it's so interesting to go and have this personal narrative that I'm building where it's just like, oh yeah, ultimately, like, and it is so hammered in at the end where, Rindo has lost everything and he's managed to get out of the game, but when he has to go and make sure, like, give that one angel the tour of, given like that shady little tour of Shibuya, he's like, it's so poignantly and in only a way that you could have in like the fantastic melodrama. It's like, this city's nothing without my friends, and it's like, yeah, dude, you're right. Like, that's ultimately what infrastructure does, gets people connected. And it, like, I don't want to go ahead and just call this a post-pandemic game, but at the same time, the way that there's so much focus on being able to actually explore the area around you, like, it only makes sense that this could be a game that comes out as the sensation of being able to go about your neighborhood again comes through. And I'm honestly surprised they didn't go in as hard on pandemic jokes. Like,
it feels like all games are like terrified of it. Like, I don't know why either, because you think about like all the 9/11 stuff and stuff like that. Like, you think about like the way, like, look at Call of Duty, just in terms of how it like exploited the entire Middle Eastern war scenario. And you just go like, yeah, why is everyone scared of the pandemic referencing? I think like, if there's one thing I could say about this game, it's incredibly clear it was in development for a very long time, and that they definitely started like brushing it up this past year. Because there's no way this has been in development for that long. I'd say, like actual development, active development. I'd say like probably the last 2 years, if that, because they were still working on Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC and everything, since it's the same team. I just wonder, like, that has to be what happened, right? Like, they're finishing up their script. They're adjusting the script that was very much like written in a, like, I don't know, 2013 or something like that, when Nomura still had an inkling in his soul that maybe he will get to make games that aren't Final Fantasy 15 for the next 10 years. And then just like, hey, this last year, hey, we got to finish the script up. Oh, like, we need to express these ideas of both returning to this game after so long, returning to this city after so long. And they have to obviously echo the feelings they're having right now, which was probably, pandemic stuff. Probably, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah. And so, like, the other reason I do bring up the whole the theming of gentrification comes from the fact that, like, one of the other teams is the Runebringers, and I actually got like it was either an amount of not caring enough or being genuinely invested in wanting to get the story unraveled that it took me way longer than it should have to go like, oh, this is the Reaper team. They're all Reapers.
Yeah, it took me a bit too, honestly. I was just like...
Fucking the first boss fight with Susukichi where he's already like showing off his, like, not even prior to that, where he's got his tattoos and shit. Like, it's so...
Yeah, it's so
obvious.
But still, that's how Nomura gets
Yeah.
you, is the thing. He just always he does the most obvious thing possible, but he's usually just like caped in this like this hidden agenda, like are this like vagaries that you think like, oh, there's no way, and then it just is the thing.
Yeah, and now that I have to like in having to put a critical lens to this, there is that one aspect of like, oh yeah, these are all Reapers from Shinjuku who are coming into a new neighborhood, and at that point, like slowly but surely taking it over with the prospect of like territorial gain. Why is the only dark-skinned Reaper, who is also the Angel, the one that is ultimately the arbiter of the entire like events? I'm not gonna think too hard about that. I'm not.
Nomura can make one bad guy, and weirdly enough, they all look the same.
If you. Wow, when I look at Tanzo Kubo, that's the same amount of letters that are in Ansem and Xehanort.
Yeah.
This is how we connect.
Oh my God.
This is how Rindo gets into Kingdom Hearts 4.
I mean, he's going to be. You saw that fucking ending.
Yeah. God, but let's actually talk a little about. Let's talk a bit on that ending, because I think you brought a really good point up in the podcast prior, where like I think for the most part this game does a good job of like holding off on its reliance to the original game.
Yeah.
But then by the end, they're definitely just running laps where it's kind of just like, hey, you remember this, right?
Also, like, you remember the the remake bonus episode, right? Everyone bought the remake and played the bonus episode.
I was so fucking lost when it's like, why do I have to care about Patchouli, like, doing stuff?
I had it explained to me beforehand by someone who had played it, so I was like, okay, good. I know what's vaguely going on, but it's not that bad for that stuff. I don't think it's that bad or anything, but it's definitely like the type of thing where it's just like you feel like you have missed so much just by not witnessing this 2-hour bit from the remake.
It is so like that is definitely a case of like that is its own Castle Oblivion in a way, in terms of just like,
yeah,
let me hop into this one game. Hey, why the fuck am I this guy? What's going on? What happened? I thought I was gonna hang out with Goofy for a bit, and now like I have to care about this other scenario and setup. But ultimately it's I think the way that the finale focuses on just not having a central villain, and more so just like undoing the overall like just having to clean up your own personal mess. I think for the most part that was interesting. So to get into like what that finale is about, for these 3 weeks, Rindo, Fret, Nagi, and everyone in the Wicked Twisters is trying to figure out a way to like win the game. They've lost so many friends along the way. They've lost so many connections along the way. We got to figure out how to take down these Reapers before they take down the city. In the ability to do so, Rindo has this power for time travel, being able to specifically take care of it and do it in instances where nothing else has worked. There's no other solutions. I got to go back in time and get things right, which gameplay-wise, I think is also a very solid mechanic. I think it's done in a way that definitely incentivizes just wanting to go through and get to those connections. I think from the gameplay standpoint, there's a lot of just good loops and good connections that make it viable and sensible. When it comes to the narrative, it's more just like, oh, you've done this so many times that like the souls of like alternate timelines just collect and amass into more noise, and ultimately like you have done the taboo of trying to turn back time, and you have to reap what your Rindo has to reap what he sows, and he fucking hates having to reap.
Yeah. I definitely think like again, when last year, when I played 13 Sentinels, I was saying how I think that is a that's like one of the best time travel, quote unquote, stories that I'd seen in a while because it handles it so well. I feel similarly to this. I think it works out pretty okay. I don't think they go into all the ramifications of everything, but I do think, like, if there is one thing that I had an extreme beef with in this game, it is how many times I was just playing through and I was like, oh, I should do this thing so that this bad thing doesn't happen in the future. And Rindo or Fret just go, let's just not deal with it. And it's just like, no. Which I guess, then again, that's effective, I guess. It's really accomplishing how many things, like, you just will put off because you don't want to deal with it. And then it's a giant rainbow phoenix you have to kill, you know?
Yeah, sometimes you do be killing a rainbow phoenix, and
it's your fault.
It's your fault, you have to deal with it, but ultimately you do it, and then Karu comes over and makes you have to find your friend slash, you know, you're the person you really like in the city, so that you can keep playing Final Fantasy Go.
I really like Final Fantasy Go. In general, just this like, just the line stickers they have for it alone.
They're so good.
It's like, holy shit, guys, you're on another level. You know, that's something we could talk about. The texting in this game is bar none the best I have seen in a video game. I have not seen more realistic texting. For the most part. There are some times where it's like, I think only when it comes to story beats, like the Amnesia chapter really stands out to me with that one. That chapter in general is really weird, but that chapter having a like bit where it's just like you're going back through the text and it's like, this is not a text someone would send. It was really weird because you look at like the fucking, like, the stuff Shikuchi sends to you and like just even the way Fret, the different mannerisms that like Fret and Rindo have that are expressed through text, or like the way that even, you know, Shoka talks through text as Swallow. I think, like, that's a lot of character. That brings a lot of character to them, honestly. I feel like it's surprising that the original didn't really have texting, right? Because it was still flip phones. But I don't...
Yeah, like, the only way that you got any sort of, like, communication was, like, I think it was, like, the missions were the emails that you got.
Yes.
But then that was just, like, a full-on email, and that was still, like, the disconnect between just, like, the budding, like, US-centric focus on texting and the Japanese focus more so on, like, you know, SNS, email, being able to have something more substantial. I think that was still at a point where, like, the two were definitely different, where at this point, you know, 10 years of globalization, there are some things that are easier to get through. Like, all right, you know, not everyone has Line, but there is still the ability to send emoji. There's still the ability to send GIFs and whatever else to also, like, provide a understanding of what that communication is. Like, the best way that that gets communicated is that first cutscene where, you know, like, Rindo's waiting for Fret, and in trying to, like, clear things up, Fret's just sending so many of, like, the same "I'm so sorry, dude" sticker, and I think it's a very good way to, like, communicate just the way that these characters come to life. And I don't know, like, you know what, I want to spend some time just talking about these characters, because I think the new there's a good mix about having, like, every new character, I think, just does so much to add to the story, and then giving that in-game 3 years, and then just actual, like, 14 years of time to stew with everyone else in the cast, I think is a very good just set. Like, it feels very matured in a way, and I guess, like, the main way I can focus on that is Rindo. Like, from a design standpoint, Rindo's got that drip, and this is. It's not to knock on Neku's original design, but like
the man
that
looks like 2007.
Man looks like 2007. He's got little buckles on his like booty, like little boots.
Oh my god.
His shorts, the headphones, the little MP3 player, like it is very much
the athletic tank, yeah.
The athletic tank. And then, cut to Rindo where it's the knockoff off-white jacket over the hoodie, over the cuffed jeans with the white canvas sneakers. Like it's very evocative, and I think like you look at Rindo and you see that is literally just something someone wore to get out for the day and like hit up the mall later. That is just very evocative of the way that just 14 years of Shibuya has changed over time. And then to that extent, like I think it's just very smart to have that thematically, Neku with his big old headphones going like, get out of my way, everyone is dumb but me, I don't need to hear anybody, I need to block out all the noise. That's the way that you immediately get that character across. To like contrast that with like a Rindo's mask, I think also just adds to the accentuation of this isn't about having to like connect with people. It's more so to like having to be a bit pickier about those connections and just wisening up about how you communicate with others. Me going to my little English teacher spiel.
No, definitely though. You're absolutely right. And also like, I feel like one of the main things with Rindo's character arc is the idea of like, not just like going along. I think like the analysis of parasocial relationships in this was actually very surprising to me. Because it is something that teenagers go through. I think almost every teenager goes through the phase where they are just reiterating, and some people never grow out of it, but
yeah.
Like this phase where you are just copying from people you see online or people that you think are funny or smart, and you are just copying literally everything from them all the time. And you just think like that is the stand-in for my personality. Like this is my personality. I'm just like him. I'm just like this guy, like I'm just like, he's just like fucking, I can't even remember what Another. That's the name for, what's his face.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just like this guy.
I'm always quoting this guy. I always got to make sure that I keep this in mind.
Yeah,
like,
just
his words speak to me.
His fucking things. I think the only part that's unrealistic to me is that Rindo has the self-awareness to say like, oh, I got that from Another, because what most teens will do is they'll say the thing and go, I came up with that, like I did that. It was just something I thought about. Like that is,
this is a pretty cool thing that I just came up with. Like maybe we should just cancel debt.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just I heard, I just think Banjo-Kazooie's good. That's all. I don't know. Like, I just, shit like that. I don't know. Like, a fucking 16-year-old today saying Banjo-Kazooie's good. I believe that probably exists. I just, but yeah, I think, like, this idea of, like, Rindo reckoning with that and, like, deciding, like, to make decisions for himself is something really effective, because that's even something, like, I think most people, not even just teens, struggle with, is this idea of, like, deciding for yourself what you want to do, and like, learning to accept that other people will like go with it, and they appreciate you for who you are instead of like what you do.
Yeah, like ultimately him having this focus on just like becoming a leader, I think really does pan out in a way that part of it is the time travel mechanic. Part of it is just being able to go like, hey, we fucked up here. If I have the opportunity to go back, I want to do as much as I can to make sure we're like hitting every detail as best we can. And it's really just a fantastic way to see all that culminate, where it doesn't feel like he gets upstaged by Neku once Neku comes back. If anything, I think it shows a lot of restraint from the team to be able to like bring Neku in at the last minute, but just as like additional support and as a guide. Like they know this ultimately isn't his story. They can still end it, but the focus is still on Rindo, like someone that is really just as like at someone who has as much at stake as anybody else in this whole game.
Not to get too far ahead since we haven't talked about the other characters, but I feel like since you referenced it, I did want to talk a little about Neku.
Yeah, totally. I would love to get into it because...
So what did you think about Neku? I was just curious before I go off here. I was curious what your thoughts on his overall presentation was.
So, I mean, like, it definitely... The focus on Neku is definitely the part where it's kind of just like, all right, I mean, I know he's going to show up, but it's a matter of when, and also so much reverence that came about it, where, you know, everyone's like, oh, this legendary player, this dude that was going to, like, go to the top, and it's like, I guess he was also just, like, a shitty, like, 12-year-old who had to learn how to make friends. And then to have him come in when he does, and, you know, like 3 years is a lot of... Like, how fucking old is he in the actual, like...
I think he's 18 in Neo 12, probably.
Yeah, he's 18 in Neo. He was 15 in the original. And, you know, it's very funny to see this person... They make him 18. He feels like he's goddamn
like 30.
28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He has that energy to him that is just like, this man is done. He is.
This. My man climbed a mountain. He fucking like did some van life for a bit.
For real. Though.
God, this is the longest I've gone without having to think about this show. He did a stint at Terrace House, and then he was like, okay, I'm good.
Oh, man. You're so right, though. That's, like, exactly the vibes he has, and then he's 18. I think, like, this is a prevailing notion, like problem in anime stuff, is, like, if a character is, like, not the main cast of teenagers and they're slightly older, they're immediately... Like, it's really funny to think about how Nagi is older than these kids.
Yep.
Like, Nagi is in her 20s. Like,
she's 22. She can legally get a beer after all this.
Oh, man.
And she probably has.
She had to. I mean, oh, my God. She's just popping one up and reading her fucking Fate Go chapter. She's done.
Is there anything else we want to touch on about Neku?
Yeah, so my opinion on Neku is that, first of all, did you play with the English dub?
I did.
Okay. What did you think of his voice acting? Because I thought it was
so
a little
flat.
questionable.
It was very flat delivery, and it was unfortunate because, like, I didn't expect, like, great material, but at the same time, like, seeing the main cast and so much, like, vibrancy
Yeah.
to go about stuff, and to touch a bit on Beat, like, even, like, Beat's voice actor trying to, like, go in for it, which I didn't mind, honestly.
I don't mind it as much as Neku, definitely. I think, like, it definitely... But it still has that energy of... The similar energy of, like, how does it go, fellow kids? I'm gonna say Finna
it's
a bunch.
The weakest. Neku's is the weakest, unfortunately.
So his voice actor did only do Neku in 2007 and Child, Fish, and SpongeBob. So I think that paints a picture.
I believe that. I believe that. And you know what? I'm glad that it is the same guy.
I can't. But when I hear him say the shit that he says in that game, I'm like, there's just everything he says just sounds insane all the time. There's just something about his delivery at every point. The first fucking line he says knocked me on my back. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I'm here to help you, or whatever, and he just sounds like that. I was just like,
oh yeah,
okay.
But here's... He did hit that focus very good.
Sure.
Like, I popped when he was like, focus.
He got that
He's
good.
in the game.
But then, like, when he's in battle and he says, like, what is the thing he always says that drives me insane? I don't know. He's always talks like this. Like, for everything.
When he's eating food.
Yeah.
This is great. This is incredible. Bro, it's a burger.
Also,
It's
like,
the Justice Burger. It's all good.
neurotypical Neku is insane to witness also. Like, just that is what I've been calling him. The way that his face reacts to things is just so, like, he looks like
I don't know if it's
a taxidermy
neurotypical as much
animal.
as, like, he's been dead for a while, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But he's just like, I need to go home to my wife. Like, that is the energy he has for this whole game. Like, well, that's crazy, kids. You have fun with your Alestra.
Yeah, it's definite. Like, I guess they wanted to show off, like, a calmer Neku, but at the same time,
Yeah, he had his
like,
growth.
Yeah. I would have at least tried to give that voice actor some, like, lessons, or just like a
some
warm-up course
direction.
before.
It's just
Yeah,
because Rindo's is really good. I want to say that Rindo's
yeah.
voice actor is incredible. I really liked him the most, I think, out of anyone in the game. Nagi's also, obviously, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're all good. Is the thing. It's him and Beat that are the ones that really stand out to me. As you know, because like you said, everyone else is so vibrant and like confident in their delivery of everything.
Yeah, and like it's equal parts. Like, it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know. There could have been more there, but you know, since we've already mentioned her, it's time for the Nagi Usui appreciation.
Fuck yes.
Marathon, because what a fucking character.
The best character, just the best character. I could not believe I was not ready for. I had actively avoided all pre-release stuff for this game. I didn't even play the demo, because I was like,
okay.
I have the day that this game comes out. I was going house sitting for a week, and I was like, oh man, I'm just going to fucking just get immersed in this, and I mostly did, but I did not expect a character like that in an Amura game. I think especially she is just so antithetical to how he has designed women in the past. Like, Shiki is fine in The World Ends With You, but she still has a little bit of Kyrie syndrome.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
But Nagi is just there's nothing like, oh, she needs to be saved. Oh, she's like if anything, she's the one saving everyone, like, all the time. She is like so on the ball. She is actually like the mature, like, older sister of the group or whatever. Like, even if she acts like a huge idiot all the time and does a bunch of stupid shit, like, she is on it. She is like, she is emotionally mature.
Yeah, I think the best thing that they do is just highlight the fact that, like, it is never an issue that she is a person that, like, loves and is enthusiastic about the things that she is, like, involved with. If anything, like, they go out of their way to go, no, she is emotionally mature and stable because of the fact that she does a lot of analyzing. Like, it is very funny that it's like the people that have done so much time just analyzing character motifs and, like, figuring out stuff and, like, just getting immersed in this media are often also the ones that just get how people work, if only because of the fact that they spend the time to understand how relationships work and how people feed off one another. And to have her be the foil to Fred, someone who is like, and they outwardly pointed out, like, Fred is a fantastic conversationalist. Even in the social networks, it's very funny that, like, every main connection he has is, oh yeah, he's talking to this person, and they're like, oh, this kid's pretty cool for, like, a 15-year-old. He knows how to talk to people, and that's, like, amazing. But then also, like, has difficulty really getting to that connective level. Nagi being the person that knows how to like dive deep with stuff, but then just struggles to even get that first foot in. It's a very classic dynamic, but at the same time, one that is just so evocative in this kind of a scenario where everyone is having to deal with their own issues, but then it's in a way that is not immediately precedented, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great point to say that VNs make people smarter. Thank you. No, but yeah, I think the way that arc culminates with like Nagi saying like, I have determined you are a human.
Yeah.
It's like such a good way to like sit there and be like yeah, like she has been uncomfortable with her the entire time. She has been like busting his chops at every corner, even though he's being nice, because she knows like he is just like, he's just going through it, right? He is just like going through the motions. He is like performing as he thinks he needs to, but she sees like that, no, like he wants to be like that. That is what he is doing. He wants to be this person. He wants to do these things. He wants to be kind. He wants to be, nice and all these other things. And realizing that, I think, yeah, it's just really good. I really liked that chapter a lot. Because I think like I was already in love with Nagi. Everything about her is incredible. The way that she calls herself Nagi the Edgelord is,
oh yeah,
like she has self-awareness that is incredible.
Her Ida bag is really good.
The way that the noises she makes at Minami Moto is like, holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. She
has a little cat face.
Yeah. She just has the beam she shoots out of her mouth when she eats. Like, she is just like, she is the standout character of this game. Easy. Like, so in the original World Ends With You, I think I really liked, Hanakoma and Neku, I think. Because, of course, I liked the main characters and the cool, edgy one in the shadows or whatever. But, like, when I've looked back at The World Ends With You, the original, I realized that actually I love Beat, and I think he's stupid as hell. And he's just such an effective character for what's happening in that game. Just to really, like, a good foil for Neku. And to have him reoccur throughout that game and then be that last partner works really well. And I love Beat in this game too. But like I've lost myself here because I was just I was thinking about Beat saying all these things.
I do like having Beat and Fret. Like it's just I love having two golden retrievers in my party.
Absolutely. Like the party balance is just insanely good overall. And like Nagi being this like Nagi is the one that I will always look back and I'll say, yeah, Nagi's my favorite character from this, basically. Like, I can't see a future where that isn't the case, because not only is she, like, she's really funny in her own rights, she's really, like, just a great character design. But she's also just, like, a really well-written character, and, like, the fact that Nomura was finally able to make this, like, mature character who is a huge dweeb girl, like, toxic yaoi fan is an incredible trait to have on a Nomura character of all characters. Like, so
definitely. I will also say that, like, for all intent and purposes, Shoka is also, like, I ultimately have really respected the way that, like, Shoka came across.
Definitely. Honestly, I was again ignoring avoiding everything before playing the game. I didn't know if she was going to be a party member. I figured she was going to be, but I was really interested in seeing like what's her story, what's going on with her, and I don't think it disappointed too much. Like I would have liked to see a little more, maybe maybe a little more flashbacks for her pathos. But I think like even still, I think it works. Like, I think this idea of like, hey, like this person has taken care of her for so long, but like only from like a sense of like honestly, like mostly parentally, like just this very like motherly role on her, and she hasn't like made like friends with anyone, and like her learning to be like, I I don't need to give up everything for my mom, GF or whatever. Like I don't need to give up everything for this. I can just like learn to accept that and find people who care about me just as much, and it doesn't have to make things like the end of the world or whatever when bad things happen. She's a good character. Also, just like, again, another standout Nomura character, a gamer GF.
Yeah, she loves to game. She's just big on Final Fantasy Go.
The fucking thing that she says when you run away from a battle, where she says, "I pretend not to see it." I was like, Jesus Christ.
I like when she's eating food and she's like, low key, I love this.
Yeah.
It is so amazing how they have managed to use slang in a way that is not. I will say that anyone that gives this game guff for its use of slang does not know how to use slang, I will say.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's really effective.
Yeah, not like, of course the Very Beauties are going to have quotes that involve them saying "work Henny." That is literally their whole bit. You can't get mad about that. I forget if the Deep River Society say anything about being based or triggered. I couldn't tell you, but they're... It's always been receptive in a way that, like, I think people are just scared of the fact that it is the closest that it comes to, like, teens sounding like teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Just the way people were being, like, I saw a lot of, like, people saying, like, oh, why'd they say sus? Like, what do you mean? People say sus all the time.
I love to look at slang as solely stuff I see on the internet, and not patterns of language that, for all intents and purposes in the US and to an extent globally, are just nomenclature and vernacular that are taken from Black communities and other like minority communities and used like at all. Because that's what it is. That I'm getting too hot and bothered about just semantics of language here, but no, like the slang's good and it fits and it makes sense. I think that, if anything, the biggest surprise is Susukichi for me. Like, just a fucking... I don't know what I expected when I was getting Susukichi. I see this big guy and I assumed, I guess, like, something of a offshoot of Beat. But to have just, like, this mass of a man, low-key be, like, a jabberjaw and also, like, super into fucking reversey.
He's such a twisted individual. Like, yeah, I thought so. First of all, like his design was like viscerally upsetting to me from like when they announced him, but I ended up really liking him by the end just for his like role. I thought like he was really effective. I think like if I had one complaint with a lot of like the antagonizing forces in this game, not even so much the ending ones. I think those are pretty fine, pretty standard. It's like because the first TWEWY didn't really have this sort of, it was very like, pace by pace. It was like, hey, you get Shiki. Hey, week 1 finished with Shiki. Like you only talked to like whatever what's his name? Was it 777 or?
777 was the musician. Are you talking about the game master for that week?
No, I'm talking about him. I'm talking about like characters you meet and like interact with and stuff like that. Like you get Shiki, you get these other people, but like in this game, there's so many people that you're meeting up with, that even the antagonists. Like you don't learn much about the big guy from the original TWEWY when you beat him up or whatever the first week, and then you don't know much about like Minami Moto until like later. But this, like, there's so many in this game comparatively that it just, like, because they have a lot more depth than those did, you're seeing a lot more of them throughout the weeks. it's like, oh, I really want to know everything about this guy now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and that is how I felt about him, because like by the time like his arc finishes, I was just like, oh, but I wanted to know more. I want to know more about like what is your bit? Like tell me about Reversey more, man. Like I just wanted to spend more time with him, which is something I never thought when I saw him initially.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately, I'll see a lot of characters I wish we just had more time with. Like, fucking... the fact that Hishima comes literally at the end and
I
just
know.
is like... Like, I want to hear more about you and your boyfriend, Shiba.
Yeah, the drama. I want to hear about the drama. Don't just drop me all that on the last day.
I want all this tea, and it's getting, like, fucked over by just having to save the city, and it's like... If anything, I think it's good that Neo Toei is a game that leaves me wanting more. Because then that just means, like, you know, ultimately there's content to be made and there's more to be, like, worked with. And I think that is ultimately always going to be the space that this, now a series, since there's 2 of them now, like, it works best being able to, like, give you gaps that you can choose to fill in if you'd like. And
yeah,
I think...
still.
There's so much space for that. And so, you know, now we've talked about all the characters and just like a lot of that fancy set dressing. This is a game that you play on a controller. And I think it's the most fun I've had in a while, being able to just mash buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, the biggest thing that the original World Ends With You gets noticed or remembered for is the fact that there's just so much focus on using the features of the DS. The buttons you only ever use to, like, control your partner character on the top screen for just inputting combos. Otherwise, you're tapping, you're slashing, you're shouting into the mic, you're moving stuff around, you're doing so much shit with the other features that you know, it is remarkable that the game was able to have such an extensive battle system the way that it did, recognizing that you can't replicate that anymore and not trying to just cram all that into the Switch's touchscreen, or God forbid the fucking touchpad on the DualShock. I'm looking, it's on my desk, and I'm realizing they could have done that. They could have chosen to do that.
That's
and
the Nintendo path. Like, if Nintendo was making this game, that is 100% what would have happened.
Yeah, but instead they're saying, like, all right, you know what? Let's relegate this to the buttons, and I think it's a very good setup to just have. Looking at my DualShock, you have square, triangle, and then all the shoulder buttons. And those are the ways that you do your attacks. And that was just so much fun to, like, mix and match combos, and in a way where to give up the pass the puck system for a drop the beat system, and just, like, making sure that your timing when to, like, do combos and when to get things set up. I think that just really made for a playstyle that still managed to keep that same energy, but in a way that really leaned into just knowing that, like, things are different. We have to have a bit more consistency with how we go about our gameplay setup, and, like, being able to, like, dip into both wells of more linear and streamlined game aesthetics, still wanting to keep the variety that came from the original game.
I also just appreciate any game that has me getting like a claw motion for it.
Yeah.
As like a Monster Hunter head, like this idea of like, I mean, you said it, yeah, like mashing buttons fucking rules is the thing. It's just great when you're not doing like a quick time event and you're just like actually like alternating through things and like having that impact behind the good pins. It's really satisfying to, like, you know, like you're mashing X, and like also like alternating to like mashing Y really quick to just shoot out a bunch of shit on the screen, or like holding down R the entire time you're doing that. Like, it occupies every sector of my brain in a way that was really satisfying. In a similar way to the original game, like you said. Because a lot of people complain about like not being able to focus on both at once, but for me that was like heaven. I need to be paying attention to two things at once, and then you have my full attention.
I mean, the trick is that you just have to alternate where that focus is. It's like I do not understand anyone that will just choose to not have a shockwave pin in their deck at all, because that is what you use to just like have that brief lapse of thought over like both setups. You slap or attach that, like it. If I have to worry about beats combos that are like 4 suits of cards that I have to like try and match up, then hey, guess what? I'm just gonna slash around the screen wildly while I just focus in to make sure that I get that puck past. And in this case here, like, let me just keep tapping on the shockwave button so that I can just go ahead and like launch anything else that I need to, or I can just go ahead and start to like spread out my target for like the homing rockets or something like that. Like, there is a way that even in the middle of all this chaos, like, there are ways that you can still find management and control, and that was also a lot of fun to figure out. So, you know, I want to get into the nitty gritty. I've got my whole list of the pins brought up here. So, you know, what did you feel about the way that Affinity played a part into this iteration of the gameplay? You know, I don't think I spent too much time focusing on like I forget if type affinity was even a thing in the original game. I'm curious if like that made any like difference at all. Like, I think the biggest part too for Neo Toei is the fact that they tried to provide more JRPG conventions, given that it is a larger release. And I don't know how many of those actually like landed.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely like there were clunkers in the first game, don't get me wrong. But like here especially, there's just a lot that stand out where it's like I feels like they wanted to do a lot more hype stuff with the 3D presentation, with that big budget feel, like you said, like that console game. It's a console game, not a handheld. And like stuff like, you know, like how the telekinesis functions, for example, the telekinesis pin compared to old Toei, it's not great.
No.
It doesn't, like, it's interesting that they made so many different things, but like it's just at a certain point you're like, okay, how much of this different things are stuff that is just not great? And like I just sort of end up really leaning towards those shockwave pins, like you said for the first game. Like, I just sort of wanted to use those anyways in general to just keep like beat chains going. In this one, I also think like the healing pins are pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, I have tried to use some healing pins in my deck, but then it just never came around to a point where I felt like this was doing me good. Like, yeah,
like it was just like, I'm leveling this, I guess, right now.
Yeah, I can use this just to make sure that it's getting the XP that it needs, but otherwise it's like, oh no, if I want to keep my HP high, I just need to like do better and just keep my groove up. If I can learn how to take care of enemies taking care of enemies quicker, that's what's going to make sure that I get that HP bonus, not having like a dedicated heal button, which in its own way was pretty interesting to recognize as like, I don't know, someone that definitely would like want to have a dedicated healer on their team usually, but in this case it's like, no, I would rather just everyone deal damage in some capacity, or focus on being able to like do something that can still activate that combo.
Especially once you get like to the killer remix stuff and it's like 300%, you're just boost to full again. So it's like you just kind of want to make setups that are generating that fast, and then you can just heal that way. I feel like if they had made like a tertiary support system where it's like, hey, like, you know, I don't know, fucking like it's no, because you need to use A and B for that. I don't know, like you click on the sticks to do a support move or something. Like they could have designed the game around that, but I mean, as is, it's fine. It's definitely fine. I'd be interested to see what they do with this format, this new format, and these pin stuff in a third game now already. Like, I'd be really interested to see, like, because this is, unlike that first game where you can't really replicate that, like, this is definitely a format they could refine. Kingdom Hearts 2
big
style.
Time. Yeah, is there any new pin type that stood out for you? And then what, like, you know, we're gonna get through the clunkers. I've got them up here. We're gonna talk about these clunkers because there are. Let me see, how many pins are there again? Like, oh wait, I can just scroll down to the bottom. Over, like, 330
or something. Okay.
Yeah, over 300 pins, not counting, like, the money stuff that you get, boss pins, like so many things to get. Not all of them are winners.
No. So ones that really stand out to me as outwardly bad, obviously any of the tripwire stuff. I do not know what they were thinking. Okay, yeah.
I made some use of the tripwire, but it also, like, to make use of the tripwire is to have every other person on something that is just frantically, like, throwing shit out.
Yes, that is the times that it was effective for me. And there were the reason I'm not, like, standing this out as, like, my big standout awful one is that it was effective sometimes. Like those chameleon motherfuckers.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, you get a tripwire there, and then you use, like, I could see, like, a shockwave, or, like, not a
dynamite darts, like, and shit.
Or an area of effect.
Yeah, like a fucking, like, meteor, even, like the charge up and then drop. I like almost all of the charge up and drop ones. Just like the fucking, like, ones where it's just like a ball of energy you charge up and then drop on them. But Psychic Shotgun is incredible to me. I love that one. It always feels so satisfying to just, like, watch Fret slide around and then just go like, oh man.
Yeah, that was a very good one.
Man. That was so good. I'm just remembering it now. That's such a good pin. Let me see if there's any good ones.
I mean, other just, like, a stinker is the fucking bombs.
Oh, the bombs. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Like, you put down that bomb and then it's like the enemy just goes, okay, I'm running over here then, bye. Like,
and I do have to, like, I do have to state there's a difference between the bombs, like the minefields or whatever else, and the grenade launchers, which are good. And
yeah, the grenade launchers are good,
effective.
And the mine ones are even effective. Yeah, it's just the fucking put down a time bomb or whatever, like, just completely useless. Oh, there's so many. I'm looking right here. There's like 10.
And they're all just not effective. It requires a level of, like, zoning in a way that just, like, I don't think you can ordinarily do.
Yeah, like, in a world where the tripwire are, like, you can set up wires everywhere instead of the reality of you shoot out one wire and it sticks a guy, pretty much. But, like, in a world where you are creating, like, that, yeah, like I said, a zoning type situation where you're pushing people into one section of the arena, like, sure, a bomb would be really great, but I don't think the damage trade-off is there. I don't think, like, there is any scenario in which they are realistically more effective than anything else. Like, everything else just feels way, way, way more easier to use and more effective.
Yeah, I think a lot of the psychokinesis also kind of just suffered in the way that it got used in this iteration. Just because, like, a lot of it got focused in on like hold R2 and just gonna like drag a big truck along the screen.
Yeah.
And that not the same as like pick up an object with your stylus and just fling it to the other side of the screen. Swift Strike was also one that I just that was rough.
Did you find the trick with it where it's like you just have to stop moving the control stick?
See, they kept telling me to move the control stick, and
Yeah, I know. They lie to you because they're telling you to ricochet everywhere. You don't want that. If you just press the button, it doesn't make it good. I want to make this clear. This doesn't make it good, but it makes it manageable. If you press the X button or whatever, yeah, it's an X. They're usually X buttons. You just press X and it just keeps bringing you back to the target that you're locked onto.
Not good.
Still not good.
Not a fan of that.
Like even drift tackle's better than that.
Oh yeah, no, drift tackle has control to it. Like you can still work your way around it so it works. I wish I tried to do more with the protective fields.
Yeah.
But it's fine. In terms of affinity, I think I really loved a lot of the sound. Sound pins were good just because they had a lot of that ricochet. Time affinity also just very good for like that slow-mo bonus, witch time-esque ability to just immediately get that combo set up for like another pin.
Yeah. So my favorite was ice. I just loved using ice. I loved the clothes you could put on people to make the ice last longer. The ways, like, if you just equipped, like, a dynamite darts, one of the Coney ones, you're fucking set. Like, if you can set that up with some clothing, you can just make someone be frozen forever and blow them up with a bomb, actually, because I had to level a lot of the bombs up, so that was one of the things that was really effective for that. But still not good. The gravity pins, I don't like actually using them, like we said, the telekinesis ones and stuff like that. But the gravity killer remix, or I don't even know if they're called that. What are they called before the killer remix? Because the killer remix is the last one, right?
Yeah, killer remix is the last one. 300%. I'm trying to remember what it. But like so as you're filling up that beat gauge, you can get to 100%, and circle hits like a special move depending on what the affinity is. That one's good because it is just like a black hole that sucks everything up.
Yeah, and that helps set you up to do other things with your moves in a way that I feel like a lot of the other ones don't do. Like wind was pretty effective, but like sound pins are really fun to use, but the sound one is only so effective. Like that boost. Or whatever.
I got some fair use out of it, but I could also see like that one required some
maybe I'm thinking
moving
about,
around with the lock on.
Maybe I'm thinking about another one. But it's the one where it bounces around, right? Where it bounces off all the walls?
I think that's light.
That's light. Okay, I'm thinking about light then. Sorry. The light one.
Are you talking about the one that's like all the lasers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's light.
That's light. Okay, I'm thinking about light then. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, the sound one is good. I can picture the sound one in my head now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the light one is Yeah, it's I think it was just handled a lot better than that first game, yeah. All the affinities, I think, like it felt more like they were separate. Like, how do I put this? In the first game, it felt like you were just equipping attacks, like, to a certain extent. And then here, it really does feel like you are creating... I never really went for, like, specific enemy weaknesses or anything like that, but it still feels like you are creating tools for a scenario a lot of the time in a way that's a lot more satisfying.
Yeah, and ultimately, it's like, no, Fred is always going to have some kind of square attack. I'm going to make sure that Rindo is my sword main, and as soon as I was able to unlock like multiple pins, like for my end game deck, it was just Neku and Rindo on triangle and just racking up those combos.
Yeah. I'm lost in my brain just thinking about how it's a good game now. I'm just thinking about so many things that I really liked about it. Just the act of playing it was so satisfying in a way that I haven't felt from games recently. I mean, like, I felt it from games, but, like, there hasn't been... I said this on the other podcast. There hasn't been a game like The World Ends With You since The World Ends With You, you know? So it's nice to have that, like, that glimpse of, like, something that exists outside of the traditional mold again. It really just... It's an experience.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting into Neo after finishing up Tales of Berseria, and I think that is, like, a very fair equivalent in terms of, like, one action JRPG going into another action-focused JRPG in a way where, like, the systems are similar, but they're also trying to accomplish different goals, and one is also just tackling the newness of having to be on console and having this different iteration of itself come up.
Yeah, and the other one is just, like, has been there for years.
Yeah, one has had that system for a while, and granted wanted to try something new with its mechanics, but also, like, still has a natural flow to it that has been cultivated. It's just a matter of, like, updating that for a specific, like, style or motivation. And on the subject of style, I mean...
Yes, we had to. These threads.
Yeah, so in Neo The World Ends With You, I think it is very fitting that the original brands of TWEWY, some survived the 3 years of...
The 3 years.
The 3 years. The 3 in-game years.
Oh, man.
Of update and expansion and whatnot. But then, ultimately, some stuff shutters, some stuff has to close up, and is replaced by some new additions. So, I'm going to go ahead and just go through our old favorites over in The World Ends With You. You had Moose Radis, D&B, Tiger Punks, Lapin Angelique, Dragon Couture, Hipsnake, Pegaso, Sheep Heavenly, Jupiter of the Monkey, good old Jupes, Pavo Real, Natural Puppy, Wild Boar, Gatito, and 2 other ones that I'm not going to talk about because they're live remix. And, you know, some stuff comes back, but the new iterations are Topo Topo, Jolly Becco, Koni Koni, Ryugu, Gara Gara, El Caballo del Rey, Shepherd House, Monocrow, Hog Fang, Gatonero, Croaky Panic, and Black Honey Chili Cookie, the brand that is literally made by, like, Tetsuya Nomura's friend.
Which, like, you know, good for him. Good for him getting his friend in there. It's very funny because you were saying, like, there is, like, are there even any pins for them?
No,
I didn't think
pins.
so. It's just like the 8 clothing items.
Yep,
oh,
the 8 things you can get at the store, which I assume is a very small little boutique.
But yeah, I think the diversity is much more effective here. Maybe it's just for how fashion, I think, has grown for the common folk. I don't know what I'm saying, but, you know, like, the people are, in general, I think, have become more dynamic with fashion to an extent. And I think that's been really reflected here with, like, I don't even think actually, I shouldn't say people have, the presentation of fashion in media has gotten a lot better.
Oh, definitely.
I think, like, here, like, having stuff like fishnets and, you know, like, what is the buckle sleeve shirt from Shiki's place, Gatonero.
Yeah.
Like, all of that stuff is like, yeah, these look like real outfits. These look like real cool outfits I have looked at and gotten or, like, want to get.
Oh my god, big time. Like, looking at, like, Hog Fang's whole setup, it's like, oh, you are literally just, like, flannels and, like, boots and things that I would love to just pick up for myself, because, like, that's the setup. And, you know, I think also, alongside that, to an extent, the willingness to just full-on parody like legitimate brands also just helps go a long way. Like, Shepherd House literally is just like doing its best to be a knockoff Uniqlo, and it shows in so much of its apparel. Monocro is sort of like an off-white streetwear athleisure kind of a brand, and to have that kind of motif still be separate from Jupiter of the Monkey, which is also like setting itself up as like urban and sporty. Like, there's a much more defined sense of style in a way where you can literally say, like, here's a brand that is cute and girly. Here's a brand that is fashionable and sexy. Here is a brand that is clean and bright colored. And those will all have their own distinct setup where it's like, oh no, I can see what the difference is. I can see how exactly, like, one person would get interested in this specific brand over the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. But there are so many that are. Nomura's always gotten my ass. I shouldn't attribute this whole game to Nomura, obviously. A lot of people worked on this game, but this team in general, I should say, has always got my ass with fashion choices, even if they've been bad. But, like, you know, I look at that Roxas coat after all these years. That shirt, I should say. And I'm like, damn, it's a good ass shirt. And I feel like these are more realistic versions of all that stuff.
Oh, definitely. I think it also does help that it's just like, I just noticed that you literally can get Neku's old fucking gear.
Yeah, just like more modernized or whatever, like the third iteration of it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, I ended up buying that and being like, my God. Because I ended up clearing out all the shops because I'm a sicko, but it is really funny how it's like you see the fucking tank top look like a normal tank top, I think, in the game or whatever, like, as opposed to his, like, weird vertical small size shirt.
It's so weird. But yeah, like, you look at a lot of these accessories and styles and it's just so evocative. And I think just even the fucking, like, with Croaky Panic being like the novelty shop, there's still enough awareness in, like, its material that, like, oh no, like, this is definitely some Spencer's gift, or a Spencer's gift ass location, but in a way where it's like someone could still get something out of this and it wouldn't be out of place.
Yeah, like the fucking like, I mean, that place has the maid outfit, right? Yeah, that has the maid outfit.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking novelty t-shirt. Like, yeah, that is very much like, yeah, this is definitely a place that someone would go to. Oh man. See, like, it makes me pine for a childhood or like a teendom. I don't know why I said teendom, but, you know, like being a teen and like actually going hard in on fashion instead of, like, I did go hard in on fashion, but in a way that was like more not like identified with brands or with a cohesive visual identity, and more like, I'm going to make do with what I have and try to make something cool out of this.
What was your favorite hoodie to wear for the entirety of the winter?
That would be my fucking oh my God, I had a custom hoodie that an ex-girlfriend helped make me that
Oh boy.
was Halo Reach themed. Very cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Very cool.
Hell
it was
yeah.
it was pretty low key. So it wasn't like, oh wow, look, here's Master Chief. It was like, hey, here's like just some numbers on it and shit. And that was like the sort of that I honestly like how, like, a lot of the Shiki's the Gatonero stuff here, it really does look like, hey, I can totally see that someone designed this. It's not like like I am just like making a, going through the motions, making a cloth. I am like, cultivating a style. That's I guess that's the way to put it. Like the fucking buckle sleeve shirt, like the fucking off the shoulder top, the shirt jacket, like all of this is stuff that like the zippered fucking shirt. I'm looking at all these clothes right now. I'm just like, man, like these are so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like an aesthetic that also manages to be its own thing, and I would be surprised to not see any of this like pop up in the Square Enix store eventually.
I hope so. I really hope so. If not just that, like through some collab or something, like not super groupies, but stuff like that.
Yeah, like if anything, it does read as like someone who's had experience with cosplay and just the intricacies of bringing character design into visceral like fabric, doing so in a way where it's like, okay, let me make something that's more wearable, and I guess also just like the way that like fashion to an extent suffers from the word is escaping, or like it can be very fast fashion, can be very disposable.
Ephemeral.
Yeah. Literally just like one season you can wear this, and then you had to be willing to go with the next season. What I see from Gatonero, since it's Shiki's brand, I can at least also see like, oh, this to an extent is also like gonna last you for a while.
Yeah, definitely. That Mr. Mew hoodie looks built to last.
Yeah. And then again, like I'm just looking through Hogving, and it's like, oh, let me get a Letterman jacket and just put that with some jeans and not actual Vans, but like it's all evocative of a specific style and a vibe where like you could go through this entire list and go like, oh, this is the one thing that'll like do me right. And I don't know, it's cool that we got to that from just a very different setup where fashion in 2007 was definitely a different style than fashion now.
Yeah, you could say that. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. Do you want to rank these? Do you want to fucking
all right, what's at our...
Yeah?
What's at our bottom? What is...
The worst? I don't want to say it, but El Caballo del Rey.
I was thinking El Caballo just for the fact that it's formal wear and not even that...
Yeah, it's not that interesting or compelling. Like, it's very much like, yep, those are coats and dresses.
I would be compelled to say Gara Gara just because it feels very appropriative.
Absolutely, that was going to be my second pick. That whole fucking store, fight the power.
It
really gives off that vibe of...
And also all they have are the fucking time bomb pins, so just garbage
yeah,
brand.
Nothing good happening here. There's nothing good going on.
Maybe a homing rocket or two, but it's not worth it.
Hippie dress, my god.
Time bomb and minefield, just it's crunchy.
What were they thinking?
Someone is wearing dreads in that storefront that should not be wearing dreads, and you're just like, I can't.
They're going on a weird vegan rant that's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're telling you about they're telling you about the microchip, and it's just like, dude, you are a retail worker. You can't. This isn't compatible.
Yeah. What are you thinking next?
So it's Gara Gara, El Caballo. After that, I'm trying to think.
I was going to say Jolly.
Jolly Becco?
Jolly's got a couple good ones, yeah. They got a couple good ones, but it's sort of like, I could go anywhere for this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
nothing...
Like the cardigan, I like the lacy bustier.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything else it feels like, not big on the shoes, not big
Yeah.
on those hats at all.
It's definitely a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't mind that.
Okay.
So from there, in terms of practicality, I might throw Croaky Panic a little bit on the lower end.
To a certain extent, like, it's not an identity, right? It is a conglomerate, right? It is the bargain bin almost, right? Like that sort of vibe of like, I'm going to the clearance section and I'm picking out this discount maid dress.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is the clothing itself, not the pins, because pins is a whole other
No, the
story.
pins are very good for those.
Yeah. But here, yeah, it's very much just like you're going to a Spencer's Gifts, and that has diminishing returns after a while, I would say.
Yeah. Funny rainbow afro. Funny Christmas outfit.
It's funny.
Funny ninja costume, HP boost 4 for Fred. Fred, you gotta tell me about this.
He loves to dress up as Santa. That's his favorite thing to do.
If he dresses up like a ninja, he feels safe. That's what this is telling me. Like, oh my god. Okay.
I'm looking at Coney.
Ooh, wow, really? You're gonna...
So
Really?
here's the thing. I recognize I am not versed in the Lolita Gothic fashion sense and aesthetic. So I will not judge this on the dresses, because those are very intricate and well made, and since this is still a subculture that is alive and well, I'll let those slide. The other stuff still feels a little bit Panic at the Disco, circa A Fever You Can't Sweat Out to me.
I can see where you get that, definitely. I have a penchant for, I think, just the I really like the that one coat, just the one coat that they have in there, I think. But it is still very, like, I get what you mean. It has the vibes of, maybe this is too far. I was gonna say it has the vibes of someone you don't want to talk to sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I know that that's too harsh, but
Because again, like, the stuff that specifically is fitting its subculture and dynamic, and like, the people that'll get into that's
Yeah.
fine. But then other stuff that is like trying to make that semi-mainstream appeal, that could be like take it or leave it.
yeah, definitely. Are we feeling positively about Shepherd House? Because I can take it or leave it, but I'm curious what your take is.
Like I said, it's a Uniqlo. It's very much like a white shirt. Yeah, I could have one of those in my setup. Bucket hat, maybe not. Like, I could use some chinos. I could do like the corduroy pants. Like, it is stuff that I would at least have one of in my closet, just in case that I needed to like have it available.
Sure.
It is reliable, so I don't mind it being like a. I think the better question would be like, what is something that if we compared Shepherd House to, would it like win over?
Jupiter of the Monkey, maybe?
I was looking at Jupes.
Yeah, it might win out over that, honestly. Because, I mean,
There is stuff that I would like to get, or that like I would be down to pick up. But then otherwise, it's like oh cool, like yeah, I'll get a windbreaker. Like
yeah,
I'll do
that's
stuff like
exactly
that.
what I was thinking. The windbreaker looks good. Some of the sneaks look okay.
Yeah, they're fine. It's more so just like the color palette leaves it very
It's very abrasive. It's very like
Yeah.
in your face in a way that I feel like I've never resonated with particularly.
It's sports focused, and to that extent, and sort of like, if I'm not someone that is constantly out and about, or like not, just like if this had to be my thing that I like try and like frame into athleisure to an extent, I'm probably just picking up the shorts and then like the least shocking pair of like sneakers.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's a lot more than I feel comfortable with.
Yeah. I think Shepherd House wins out over that.
Yeah.
And what about Natural Puppy?
Natural Puppy is one of those reliable ones too.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think they all fit in that same camp, right? And that makes sense because, these are all the returning ones, right? Or is Shepherd House new?
Shepherd House is new.
Okay.
Natural Puppy is a returner.
And so is Jupiter, yeah.
Yeah, like, I look at it and it's like a J. Crew, I would say. Natural Puppy definitely feels like a J. Crew, where it's like not the most expensive, but at the same time, like, you could get something for a semi-formal event here that could also work for just going out and doing your own thing.
Yeah, the cardigans definitely scream that. The cardigan there and the coats.
Oh yeah, like those are coats I would get if I had to like impress somebody.
Exactly, yeah, that is the vibe. Hog King's got to be higher because it's good as hell, actually.
Hog Fang is my top 3.
Oh, yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. It's too good. That is somewhere you go to buy clothes. Next up, in terms aesthetically speaking, I like it a lot, but in terms of practicality, like Ryugu,
Yeah.
it's not like the shirt's really good. The chrysanthemum shirt that's in there, really good shirt. But
Oh yeah, that's
other
fun.
than that, it's audacious, right? Like it is. You are going for loud and traditional, I guess, to an extent, in a way that I don't know.
Blue
if it
shirt
works.
looks fine. I
Blue
don't
shirt
feel
does look
comfortable just I don't feel comfortable just buying a yukata.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem, isn't it? It's just like, yeah. I wonder how much of that. Yeah, I feel like even divorced from our perspective and our like feelings, like I feel like that's weird. Maybe it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's more like
it's like buying a '50s dress.
Yeah, you would go there for like the occasional thing, or if you had to like pick stuff up for the sake of like festival wear. And there is at least that divide where it's like, oh yeah, here's our like inspired collection, and then alongside that, like literally come by to pick up the stuff for the next Matsuri. But then, like, yeah, practicality, I think it is just lower on the totem pole.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. All right.
How are we feeling about Monocro?
That's where I was gonna go next. Yeah, Monocro, I feel like decent. Like it more than the other ones we've listed so far, but it's still pretty basic. It's pretty like
it's off-white. It's
sub Hot Topic in terms of its like, that aesthetic, that sort of It's not even like that harsh. It's not harsh at all. It's very easygoing. It's simple. It's for when you just sort of want to have something that looks good, but it doesn't like stand out.
Yeah, it very much is fitting that niche, that new niche of athleisure, streetwear, hype beast material. Like, I look at this and I go, oh, this is the Shishiro Botan shop.
Absolutely, yeah. That is, God, that really is it.
They could just get a pair of like Adidas in there and it's set.
Yeah, I think. How do you feel about that versus Tigray Punks though?
That's the thing, because like I would not wear anything specifically from Tigray Punks, I feel, but also I respect Tigray Punks too much.
That's exactly how I was going to put it too. It's just like you look there and you see the fucking bondage shorts, you see the bondage pants, like the fucking biker jackets. Like it is like, damn, they're going for it. And this,
like,
I am happy that this is an option.
Exactly. Like fucking last week, I was going out to like get some ramen, and I saw a dude, older guy, just dressed up in full on punk attire, literally like gelled his hair up in a spike, and I was like, dude, that fucking owns. Like that way, like I will never get that for myself, but also I would be devastated if like I had to see a Tigray Punks close down in my vicinity.
Oh.
So I would rank it higher over Monocro just for the sake of like, out of respect,
out of its role in our society. Yeah.
It serves a vital niche.
It really does, though.
Where do we want to put Black Honey Chili Cookie?
That's tough because there's a limited lineup here, and it's a very specific lineup, but also it's all really good.
If I had money, yeah, I'd buy the jacket.
Like,
the shirt's stuff. Neat.
Yeah, like I have a shirt like that. I have a bunch of stuff like this that I think it goes next, though. I think you're right. I think it is good, but it is not the standout winners that we ride or die by.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we have left?
We have Gato Nero. We have Topo Topo. Hog Fang. Is that it? Do we have one more? Scrolling.
I think that might be it.
I think that's it, yeah.
Let me go through Topo Topo. I mean, Topo Topo ultimately does not have anything I could make use of.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a t-shirt there, which is neat. I can get that.
I definitely...
The hat's good.
I like the romantic blouse a lot. I would definitely get that.
Oh yeah, that's solid.
Like, that is a solid look. That is something that I don't think had been represented in the other brands yet. That is definitely my style of shirt. I think it is fairly simple compared to these last two, though.
Yeah, and
in a way that puts it there.
Ultimately, when I look at Hog Fang and Gato Nero, it's like one is very much the most inspired and just very intricately designed, and I don't know, like if this were a pop-up, it would sell out immediately. It would be just the best idea to have that get together. The other is just so lived in its concept, where like each piece that it has is something I would love to own, either already own in some capacity, or just like it's something that I'm already working at, or like wanting to make sure I have access to. And so it's so hard to figure out, because it's like I respect Gato Nero so much as like the original brand that is like doing its own thing in a way where it's like someone should just steal these ideas and make
straight
them
up. Yeah.
Just straight up make them. But then Hog Fang is just like it says it's like Skater Boy and hip hop, but like that has just been like the current trend of just like what has been most fashion forward. Like down vests, field jackets, you get your printed shirts, your pullover hoodies, flannel shirts, the ripped jeans, cup. Like it is just every essential that you have in your outfit or in your wardrobe, just to make sure that like if you need something that's like low energy or just like little to no planning required, you have something from Hog Fang, because that just is an immediate like inclusion.
I think I'll have to go with Gato Nero for me, though. I think.
Oh, of course.
I'm a big flannel head. Don't get me wrong, okay?
Of course not.
I will definitely be going to Hogfang. I will be going to Hogfang to get the fucking flannels. But I think, like, in terms of, like, the stuff, like, I look for, like, when I think of something that's easy to wear, my idea of easy to wear is much more insane, I think, than most people. My fucking pirate blouse or whatever. But, like, yeah, like, for me, like, these ones do look like the stuff from there, like the shirt jacket. That is exactly what I would wear if I'm trying to look really cool without putting any effort in.
Oh, yeah, that's really solid.
Like, I have a bunch of shirt dresses that are like that, where it's like very like well put together. I have a flannel shirt dress that's really nice. That would definitely fit in with this line, honestly. Like, I don't care for berets. I don't care for hats in general, but like everything else from the store, I love every single other item from there, I think. Like, they even have fishnets, which I'm a big proponent of, so.
Right.
I think this is fair. This can be where our road parts. This is where the different stores we're going to at the mall.
Yeah.
Both are so good though. The fucking faux vintage beanie at Hogfang is like, oh man.
It's really solid. Like, it's just a lot. These are the most, I would say these are the most inspired in terms of fashion choices.
They definitely feel the most real and consistent, I think, in terms of these brands, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I think it's about time that we see if there's any questions.
Yeah, let me take a look real quick to see if there's... let me see. Okay, here we go. Wow. We have a 3-paragraph one.
Ooh, all right.
Okay, this is from Black Blood Gem, or Barrel. Opinions. Neo the World Ends With You is a really wonderful game that I am so thankful for, as I have desired it for over a decade, but for me it doesn't hold a candle to the original, and that's okay. Wow. How do you feel about that before I continue? Do you think, like, would you say this is better than the original, or do you think it is, like... Would you say, like, do you like the original more still, or do you like this new one more?
I think ultimately Neo 2 is a game I'm going to think more about, if only for the fact that I am in a space where I can choose to give it more thought. Whereas, you know, I was a kid when I played the original, and not to say that that experience is lessened or cheapened in any capacity, but more so it is only in the after that I'm able to really just like compensate and think on those thoughts. Whereas with Neo, like, as an immediate processing and more just like it's going to sit in my mind more. And I think also just the characterization and specific way that some characters play off each other, it holds that can't, like, I think Nagi really has just made this a game that I can think about often.
Definitely.
Where if it weren't for her inclusion, it would definitely be harder to say, like, oh, you know, maybe this is a game that, like, isn't going to pull over on the original. But let's keep going.
Okay, I definitely agree with you, though. Obviously, you have that formative viewpoint with the original game where it's like you can't have a new formative opinion on it, right? Like you're always going to be drawn back by those little things. My biggest issue with the game is that the cast of characters is so large, and by the end you wish certain ones got more screen time, like Coco and Ayano. It feels as if a sequel was hinted at for so long that we skipped some middle games starring Neku, Coco, and Tsugumi. She's been around since the iOS port in 2012. Funny story about that. I mean, there technically is, but it does have that vibe, because even if you, I think even my girlfriend who had played the remix and played that part was saying, like, it really feels like they're acting like there was a whole game with them even after that, like that the events of what they set up in that remix chapter happened and then this game happened, but they didn't. Very strange. And towards the last few days of the game, when the plot truly starts to get into high gear, it does kind of feel like we missed out on this other adventure, though the way they do things make it work. I mainly just feel bad for Tsugumi. It's clear she was meant to play a bigger role. Lastly, Kubo's twist feels a little bit out of nowhere and unexplained besides he's a stinky old man dick and he just gets vaporized. I really wanted to kick his ass personally, even before the twist. Though apparently, Kubo was added later in development by Nomura, according to the extremely reliable Toei fandom wiki, which I could very much see. Also, he's 31 fucking years old? You cannot tell me this man is 31. He's at least in his late 40s. That is fucked. He is 31 years old?
Wow.
I need to call up, like, the anime council, like the people who are making this shit, and I need to talk to them about ages, because it's getting out of hand.
No, that's the age that they are. That's what happens.
Nomura's like 50.
Yeah, now that's grandpa time.
Yeah, like he did say he pictures himself as Xehanort. Fuck. God. Actually, like, this is something we didn't really talk about. How did you feel about the ending? This was something that I don't think we talked about earlier when we were doing our discussion of, cast and stuff like that.
Overall, I thought it was okay. I mean, like, I think there is a lot of merit to say that there is some stuff that felt missing, and overall, like, I can't shake that. I think part of it, again, comes back to what that original ethos is, and with this, where you are literally fighting a representation of Shibuya in the form of, like, a big old phoenix, that's going to hit different from you choosing to fight this person that's, like, hedging everything on, like, one bet with the person who shot you, in an extent to, like, also add you as a pawn to that bet. Like, the first one has its stakes at a more personal level, where the second is much more just focusing on thematic emphasis, and so I think the first is going to have a stronger endpoint. I wouldn't say that I disliked it, but I can definitely see where, like, getting to that end and getting to that finish is kind of just like, all right. And, the end of Rindo finding Shoka, that definitely was like, I got your name vibes out of that, or it's kind of just like,
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
You made it. But
I do love the implication of they could have, like, met up instantly if he just accepted her friend request.
Oh yeah, that was very good.
Very
like that was a great way to get that set up.
I agree with you generally. I think when I was playing it in the moment, I was like, but, like, over time, I was like, that was fine. I think my only part that stands out to me as I don't know why they did this, even if it's on brand for him, Joshua's bit.
Oh
was
yeah,
a little much. That was like, why are you here?
Like, I expected him to just be the guy that, like, gives, or that, like, asks Rindo for the tour.
Yeah, right.
Instead of that other guy that
the new guy.
I can't even remember the name of, Haz or whatever.
It's Hazir, whatever. Yeah, Hazuki. I don't know. Yeah, that guy who is the Shinjuku composer, I believe.
I guess so. Like, it's so... that's what I will say. Just, like, sort of the last-minute addition of characters at the climax. But also, it's Nomura. He's gonna choose to do that.
Yeah. Every time. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to derail us for the end. Okay.
Nah, it's all good.
We got one question.
All right.
How would the Neo Twewy party members react to the BTS meal or similar meme fast food items like feet lettuce? That's from Harlequin Wheels. Thanks, Wheels. Oh, man. I'm just thinking right away, Rindo fucking hates all of them. He's making the face he makes where he's just like,
he's
he's
pulling up his mask.
pulling up his
I don't
mask.
want
He's like,
this.
oh, geez, Nagi made us go get the BTS meal. Nagi told Fret to go do the Fortnite burger.
I feel like he'd be pissed that there wasn't more to it. Rindo strikes me as the guy that, like, this might be me projecting as someone that likes to do, like, the featured item or, like, the limited time offer at a restaurant. I feel like Rindo would be... No, I have to think about it based on, like, his actual food preferences. And he is definitely someone that keeps it on the vanilla menu. I think he'd be a little bit pissed if it was like, it's just 2 sauces. There's nothing else to it. All right. Like,
no, he's
Nagi,
definitely like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Nagi is definitely an LTO freak.
Yes, 100%. She just got into the habit because she's buying them all, like, you know, the fucking pin shit all the time.
Yeah.
That now she's just doing it out of habit and collecting a bunch of shit that she doesn't need.
Right. I know, I'm trying to remember because I feel like Fret for the most part is definitely like the Instagram foodie type. And so, like, he would get one of those ridiculous milkshakes. He would get, like, the stuff that is very much, like, photocentric. And, well, it'd be like him and Shoka, I think, air similar to that.
Sure.
And then, Beat doesn't give a fuck as long as it's good, yo.
I'm going to say Beat he gets upset if something is too complex. Like, you say Rindo's like only 2 sauces, that's it, okay. Like, Beat is like, Jesus Christ, you put ketchup on this? That's too much, I don't know. Like, he's that fucking tweet where it's like the DM where it says, like, what's a charcuterie or whatever, how do you pronounce that? And they just say it's an assortment of meats and cheese. Like, I'm not ready for that, that's Beat.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, man.
And then Neku's just there,
I'll go with whatever the group wants.
Yeah.
I'm just happy as long as you're happy, guys.
He gets fucked up by McDonald's Sprite.
It's like, my God. Oh, man. He thinks, like, the pit of decadence is a chocolate shake.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Again, he loves that Justice Burger. The fucking triple decker.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He's like treating myself today. Fucking Neku. All right. I think that about does it then, right? We're golden.
About so.
Yeah, unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, I think I'll be wise and say that this will be all for tonight. And, thank you very much for joining me on this
of course.
Chance to just reflect.
We have been tossing back and forth about doing various spoiler casts for quite some time. So I am very happy to finally get it done on a game that we both really, really like.
Definitely.
It's also modern.
I'm really... Also modern. I'm very excited to get to do this in the future, and I'm also just excited to, be back in some capacity. And really was a good way for me to just get comfortable with being back on the mic again. So thank you for being... thank you for wanting to, be there for all this,
Of course, you did great. You did fucking awesome. You have nailed it this episode, I will say. You did much better than I did, I think. I think I sort of head buzz sometimes. But I think you kept the pace. You kept it structured and good. I think this is a good episode.
Aw, thank you. Well, that about does it for us. You can find most of what we're going to be doing over on videogamechoochoo.com. You can find any and all of our podcasts on Apple Podcast, and I'm trying to think about what else our plugs should be. Where can people find you?
Twitter.com @horngown. Go right there for nonsense. I don't know. The shit. It's just there. How about yourself?
You can find me over on Twitter at Mavsplaniamania. That's at MavSplaniamania. Haven't been as active lately, but little by little, it picks back up.
You gotta get back used to it.
Yep. And, the world ends with you. You gotta expand your horizons to make sure that you can always get people with you. And even if the world ends with you, the world also begins with you. We've been back at the Booyah, but now it's time to head on out. Peace.